One of the greatest delusions I've seen within like the past few years is people thinking that they're entitled to another human being's life. They buy all the merch, they buy the tickets, they donate, they subscribe, they watch all the videos, they watch all the songs, they watch the premieres, they see all the tweets, they sit there in Discord all the time and comment every time somebody posts. But you are not entitled to another human being's life. And it's weird watching people get mad at another person doing something that benefits their own life. You sit there and you think you're so entitled, you're so emboldened, you're so impactful in another human being's life that when they change for the better for themselves, you complain and act as if they're infringing upon your right to exist, or they make you uncomfortable. Newsflash, it's their life, and whatever they do with it is their choice. When Adele got fat, or when she was fat, everybody sat there and said, oh my God, she's the perfect representation of beauty because she's a fat woman, and while she's making millions singing for us about heartbreak and love and romance and all these things, it's more important that she is fat and she's representing all the fat people. But when Adele lost weight, these same people got on camera and was like, oh, how dare you infringe upon me? You are not fat rep. You don't represent fat people. You discriminate against fat people. And Adele said quite plainly, she's not responsible for y'all. Why? Because Adele is her own human being. She wakes up, she looks at her body, and she could think I'm beautiful one day, or she could think I need to make a change for myself. And I'm proud that she made a choice for herself, not anybody else. I don't care how many of you feel like you are just like Adele. A lot of you can't sing and a lot of you are overweight. Adele said, hey, this is my life. This is what I want to do. I'm going to change for myself, and I'm not really worried about the rest of you. It's not to disrespect her fans. It's to say, hey, you don't control her life and what she does to her body. It's just that plain and simple. But for some reason, people on the non-binary side are mad at Adele because she said the cardinal sin of humanity. She decided that she was going to get on stage after receiving an award and saying she's proud to be a woman.
But I really love being a woman and being a female artist. I do. I'm really proud of us. I really am. Thank you so much.
I love Adele, but that woman comment seemed like a bit of a dig. Non-binary artists deserve better. Please, no, Adele can't be a TERF. That last comment, though ambiguous, could be perceived as TERFy. Please, no. I don't know the background of this award organization. I don't know what their structure is, but I'm gonna guess and say that they had for years male artist of the year and female artist of the year. And a bunch of people complained saying, oh, why do you have male and female? Can't they just be one? Can't we just have one ceremony celebrating one artist being artist of the year? And the organization might have caved and said, yeah, we agree. We're not going to have male. We're not going to have female. We're just going to have artists. And guess what? Adele won artist of the year. Congratulations to her. But maybe she might have a problem with it because maybe she wants the accomplishment of saying, yeah, I'm the female artist of the year. I'm the woman artist of the year. I don't know. I'm not in Adele's mind. But for her to get on stage and proudly say, yeah, I like being a woman. I like being a female artist. I like being a female artist in this space making music. What could you possibly make an issue out of from her saying that? She's somebody who makes millions, billions maybe, is an artist, beautiful, makes good music, and proudly states she's a woman. She's proud to be a woman. And if you and your weird ideology and ego feel so uncomfortable with somebody else being comfortable with their own gender, sex, species, whatever word you want to call it, I'm sorry, you got to check that ego at the door. And what I find funny and almost embarrassing just a little bit is the hypocrisy of some individuals, because you got the people coming out of thin air and saying, oh my God, she's a TERF for saying all that nonsense. Oh my God, I feel personally offended by this. Why did you say that you're a proud woman? But then you got people who claim to be non-binary and all these other different lingos and words who proudly say they don't owe you any androgyny or respect, and that your core beliefs don't stand for the rest of society, and that you saying that doesn't mean the same thing for us, and we don't have to follow your standards.
Hi, I wasn't planning on posting again today, but I just need to fucking say something. Non-binary and gender fluid people, anyone, like, they don't fucking owe you androgyny. Period. I'm getting so sick of seeing like a fucking threads of comments in my comment section being like, oh, well, she looks like that, so she can't go by they, them pronoun. Fuck you, I've been going by they, them pronouns for 4 years now. I'm pretty comfortable with it. I know what I identify as. You don't get to police that for anybody but your own self. Also, I've had to fucking delete and report a bunch of comments of just men being utterly disgusting in my comments. And of course, I've been having issues with men in real life lately too, and I'm just so done. Fuck everything. Like, yeah, so a bitch just needed to rant. Have a great day, but also, again, reminder, non-binary people don't owe you androgyny. Fuck off, fuck off.
I'm going to put aside the fact that those arguments, the arguments that it's for attention, that it's egotistical, that it's mental illness, have been used against binary trans people for as long as we have existed. We're going to put that aside because I know most of the people who will view this will be smarter than you. Let's look at another angle that people don't talk about enough. This is white supremacy. This is the insistence that the binary or slightly altered binary, now that, you know, white trans people are becoming mainstream, to include they as the only single neutral pronoun we can use. That is white supremacy. For longer than me and you have been on this earth, for longer than transgender has been a word, there have been expressions of gender that do not mirror the binary. There have been a myriad of pronouns. There have been a myriad of language. There have been languages that don't even have gender. Do you understand? Do you understand that the way you think is not the way the rest of the world thinks? Do you understand that the way you think is not the way the rest of the world thinks? Do you understand that the way you think is not the way the rest of the world thinks?
But I really love being a woman and being a female artist. I do. I do. And I'm really proud of us. I really, really am. Thank you so much.
And that your universal truth, what is true for you, is not true for every other goddamn person that lives on this earth. And you imposing your rules of language, your rules of culture, your understanding on them is an incredibly stupid and somewhat violent thing to do. And it is no different than the cisgender patriarchy, the oppression of trans people being put onto people like me and you.
So if that's the case, Adele doesn't have to follow your standards. You want to be proud of who you are, that's perfectly fine. This is not to say you should be ashamed of yourself. This is not to say you should wake up, go in front of that mirror, and just be ashamed of who you are 24/7. It's to say, check that hypocrisy and ego at the door, because just as much as you want to be proud of being a transgender, non-binary, a deer, a wolf, a plant, a tree, whatever you want to be, there are people who exist that are proud to be women. There are people who exist that are proud to be men. There are people who exist and you'll call it cringy and say, oh, that's not right. There are people who are proud to be straight. As much as you want to say, oh, the next generation is going to come up and they're all going to be all these different things, there are people who exist that are proud to be who they are: straight, cisgendered, heterosexual, women, men. And to sit there and touch your ego and your heart so bad and say, oh, that's turf territory, shows how much people shouldn't be listening to some of you. Because this narcissistic behavior y'all got, this egotistical trip y'all on, where y'all think everybody's supposed to cater to you, but you're not supposed to care about others, is not going to work. It's not going to get people to see you and look at you and respect you. It's going to be a case of, haha, look at your dumbass trying to shit on Adele because Adele's proud of herself while you're constantly bitching about how you're not accepted. And that's not fair, because I can acknowledge there are people who exist, non-binaries, transgenders, lesbians, gays, who just want to exist. They don't want to say, hey, you gotta respect me 24/7. They're not after everybody's kids. They just want respect. The problem is the exact same problem I've been stating: the bad apples who bring a bad name to the goodness. It's all so simple. Call out the bad, say that this is not what you want to be represented with, and move on. If you do that, more people will see you and respect you just a little bit more. They'll still be confused because that's human nature, but at least they're gonna take the time to see that you're not with all the crazy stuff. You're not condoning all the weird behavior. Now, you're not condoning the finger pointing of saying, hey, this person right here who doesn't think the same as me, that person's a TERF. Oh my God, Dave Chappelle, he's obviously a TERF because he says he's team TERF. Oh my God, Adele, proud to be a woman? That's TERF territory because that's child's play. That's playground talk. That's like a baby trying to understand actual human interaction between adults and saying that person's mean all because they spoke in a weird tone. Understand something. The world is not your oyster. Everybody's not gonna like you. Everybody doesn't have to like you. And if you're so bold to get on camera, get on TikTok, YouTube, and say, hey, people need to respect me, but then you casually disrespect somebody else who's doing arguably the same thing, being proud of themselves and who they are, then you have a problem of hypocrisy. And if you're not gonna check that at the door, then there's no reason for anybody to be listening to. The best thing about the Adele situation is that it shows that all any woman has to do to be called a TERF is acknowledge her own sex. It exposes how low the bar is and how high the cost is for a woman who speaks the truth without first considering if deranged men are okay with it. You subscribe to the channel. I'll see y'all in the next one. Stop being pathetic losers and actually be proud of yourselves. Bye.